respected people gave you the name Dhammapala, one who protects the Dhamma and therefore is protected by the Dhamma. So you got this title and that became your name. And your family was very highly respected and you practiced charity in a very wonderful way, in a big, big way. So now, at that time, Bodhisattva was born in your family as your son, and he became known as Chula Dhammapala. Dhammapala the junior. And people called you Maha Dhammapala. Dhammapala the senior, Dhammapala the junior. So that is how it happened. Then, sir, what happened? He gave the whole story. This boy came up, he was a brilliant boy, very, very lovable and very beautiful, extremely intelligent. So he was sent to the highest seat of learning those days in a place called Takshashila. Even today it is there in Pakistan. Of course it is in the form of ruins now. A great seat of learning with a large number of professors who are very, very learned. They are masters in their own subjects. And they attracted students from all over the subcontinent of Bharata, of India. And so it was a great, very famous seat of learning in the University of Takshashila. This boy at the age of 16 was sent there. So there you became a very popular student and a very brilliant student. Your teachers loved you and very popular, and you became a leader of the students. Eventually you became the leader of 500 students of different faculties. And then you got, you completed the education and got high marks. And in terms of modern university practice, you got all the titles and all that sort of thing, all the degrees. So, then Dhammapala, he said, the teacher, so his teacher was very popular and he had a son who was a co-student of Dhammapala and a very popular boy. One day, that boy suddenly died. A most, a very great pall of sorrow fell on the family, on the entire institution. The students began to cry, the family members, the teacher, everyone. Only Dhammapala did not cry. So, and that was noticed by everybody. Hey, how come you don't cry? When everybody is crying? He says, what is the use of crying? Anicca, the law of impermanence. Your son has become a victim of that. So mere crying will not help. Something else will have to be done so that his future is assured. He is born in a better place and he may not have to suffer once again this kind of short life. It is based upon some law, he said. He said, oh, very big talker you are. Cry, he said. No, I won't cry. So the other boys, this is how the game went on. But after a time, of course, it settled down. Then there was a ceremony, some kind of Shraddha ceremony. And there the students had to talk about the departed friend, colleague, how he was, and that was the practice those days. So many students got up and they praised him to the sky and he has passed away, everybody is very suffering and etc. etc. Dhammapala not a word. He just kept quiet. So the other said, "Hey, why don't you say?" He said, "What to say? He has succumbed to the law of karma." He said, "Look here, all these are all in the book. You better tell something." He said, no book, it's real. That is how an argument went about, and then he says, he need not have died. Death for an old man, yes, it's natural. We can accept it, the society accepts it. But for a little boy of that size, 16, 17, and suddenly dying, most unnatural death, accidental death, that need not have happened. Then why did it happen? It has happened because again he has gone against the law of morality. He must have committed a karma, and that has rebounded on him in the form of early death. That's all. So mere crying won't do. We must do something for him so that his future is on the right course, in a better course. That is how the argument and all that sort of thing. The teacher also heard everything and he said, "Hey, what do you mean by all this?" He said, "Yes, sir, he did not have died. You see, so young." So then one boy said, "You mean to say nobody died in your family, in young age?" He says, "Yes. Nobody has ever died in my family. In 7th generation." Very dramatically he announced. Now the teacher got very intrigued. He said, "How come? In 7th generation nobody has died in the family young. There must be something in it." So he asked about Dhammapala again. He got all the details, said, "Yes, sir, I am telling the truth." He says, "All right, very good." Then he said he took leave of the university, and he took a servant boy with him, and took the address of his father, and went all the way east from west, in Pakistan, that is Takshashila, from there down to Banaras, walking, or those days they had some transportation, this the relay horse ratha, they could pay and they could go. So that is how he went there. And when he arrived at this, it was not a village, it was really a semi-town type of place, and they had the biggest house and very well to do and all that sort of thing. So everybody knew and they led him there. So he, when his father saw him coming from far, he sent a servant, he says, "Go on, take his shoe, all this, to carry his things and show him and bring him here with all respect." So when he was brought at home, he showed him great respect and he welcomed him with open hand and gave him a very nice room to stay. And then, Atithya, the hospital, all kinds of rules of hospitality those days, all that he did it. And after he had rested a little and he had his warm meal, after that they sat down in the family quadrangle. There, all the family, wife, other members, they're all there. So there he said, "Sir," he wanted to surprise the family. That was his modus operandi. That is how he wanted to trick them and find out their reaction. He said, "Well, I have come all the way down from Takshashila just to carry this very sad news. Your son, Chula Dhammapala, is dead." Then this father just jumped up and started clapping and loudly laughing, and he broke into huge laughter, and looking at him like that, the others in the family did the same thing. So this man got very, very intrigued. He said, how come? I have given him an information which should make him cry. Instead of that, he now jumps up and claps and dances in joy. What is all this? Then he says, you don't believe me, eh? He says, no. That's a hoax. So, he very dramatically brought out from a little bag a piece of bone and said, here you are, I brought this bone to prove. I knew that you can be skeptical, so I did this. And the father again, when that was done, the father again jumped up and started clapping and laughing. So this time he said, what? Why are you doing this? He says, in this family, in a very dramatic way he now told, in this family for 7 generations, nobody has died young. Then the teacher fell at his feet and said, sir, I played a hoax, please forgive me, and told the entire story what happened to his son and how Dhammapala reacted and all that sort of thing. Then the father, then he broke into a poetry. He was a very learned professor. And he says, please do tell me, what kind of precept, what kind of rule of discipline, rule of moral and spiritual discipline that your family practices leading to this kind of achievement. It's incredible, fantastic that nobody has died in 7 generations. So please, sir, be my teacher and give me that code of conduct, and I will note down and carry it to the university, the same message, so that many more families will benefit, sir. So the father gave in 9 gatha, absolutely inspiring gatha indeed in Pali. It's such an inspiring poetry, piece of literature. It's unthinkably beautiful in its cadence and in its formation in every way. So he spoke all this. Now that moved the professor so much, he wrote down the whole thing. And he again touched his feet, says, you are my elder brother. Now, I know why your son is so wise and is so firm. He is a great man. So he stayed with him for some days, etc. And then he had a nice time, and thereafter he took down everything, the 7 generation, how they practice. He says, look here, 10 things I practice. I will just tell you in brief, because the time is short. He says, I follow these 3 types of bodily actions. Kaya karma, 4 types of vachi karma, verbal actions, volitional actions, and 3 types of mental action, mano karma. Altogether 10. They are known as kamma patha. A course of action that creates a destiny here and now, which can be proved from generation to generation. Its validity can be proved when practiced. So this family, the landlord rich family, they have adopted that, and they did that from the last 7 generations. They kept a record. They kept a record of the whole thing, and nobody died for 7 generations in a young age. And very prosperous family. He says, look here, number one, we practice non-violence. We don't kill any creature. Not even by joke or pull, or even a mosquito bite, we don't slap the mosquito. We just do like that, and we drive it out that way, but never kill. But protect life, promote the well-being of life in 100 different ways. So we never die also young. Then, second, we don't take anything that is not given to us. We don't steal anything. No misappropriation, no corruption. But practice dana. We practice charity. This high road next to my village, all those who go on all the travelers who walk on the highway, all the poor people who are around in this village and everywhere, whoever, you see, needs a meal, they are welcome from morning till afternoon, late noon. The feeding program goes on and on and on and on. Poor people, monks, travelers, all. They are not only fed well, but with great respect they are offered the meal. Their feet are washed by the workers of the family, and so on. And then we commit, strictly speaking, we follow brahmacharya. Only with our own wives and husbands we have the family life. With others we maintain brahmacharya. We are pure, we maintain pure thought, pure action, pure everything with reference to other women or men. So kamesu vichachara we completely we have given up. Nobody has ever practiced this. So the family has maintained good health, purity of conduct, and you see, highly revered, etc. Then the 4 types of speech, we don't tell lie, but we strictly follow truthfulness. We don't carry tales from this one man's story to the other man, and backbite and carry tales of, you see, from create problem, tell this man's problem to somebody else and somebody to this man, and create discord and suffering like that. Never do that. We create concord. Wherever possible, we tell the good things, unite people rather than disunite. Then we don't use abusive language. We use sweet and good, meaningful dharma talks. And we don't gossip. So this way, 4 types of things we follow very strictly. Even the servants in the family, they do that. And then we do manokamma 3 types. We don't indulge in this greed, vishamalobha, seeking this, seeking that, wanting this, wanting that, accumulating this, accumulating that, all the time. That is the way of the world. We have given up that. We have renounced that. We don't seek anything. We don't greedily run after things or accumulate things. No. What we have, santosa. We are contented with what we have. We don't seek any more. And this is how we practice our manokamma. And then we don't hate anybody. We don't show temper or anger and all this. No, we control ourselves. And we follow the dharma. We follow the right views on things about the supremacy of good over evil. We believe in the efficacy of karma, volitional action, and how action can create our destiny. So all this is the way we have been practicing. from generation to generation. And nobody has ever suffered untimely death because of this. So when this professor heard this and wrote down everything, he literally started crying. He says, what a wonderful thing. Not only you create a destiny for yourself individually, a whole family's destiny is created. A whole family, generation after generation, doesn't suffer from all this. So, destiny not only at the individual level, but even at the family level or social level, in a collective level, is created by men with their men and women with the way they live, the way they act, the way they conduct themselves. A nation, literally you can build a new destiny for a whole nation. So it is said when Yuan Zhang and visited China, visited India from China in the 5th century AD, he was simply, fascinated, and he just couldn't explain. He says, I haven't seen any house locked in a Buddhist village. He has been visiting all these various Buddhist places, Buddhist villages and all that sort of thing, where the entire community follows the Dhamma in a very, very serious way. So, he says, no, in China we lock up our temples, he said. We lock up everybody and everything. Here you are not a house locked. There will be no stealing, no cheating, trustfulness. That means people seriously practice the Panchashila. So it moved him so much. He wrote a whole lot of books on this, about India, and travelled 10 years from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. He tramped about all over India, from north to south, from east to west, 10 years, and carried a huge lot of books, manuscripts from India to China, which were later on translated there, and that is how Buddhism went to China. So, a whole nation can be created just by appropriate mode of living. Now in America I used to hear, oh, you can get away if you can get away, do anything you like, don't worry. Forget about this so-called ethics and morality and all that. You can punch somebody and get away if you have strength. You can steal and get away if you have the ways and means of getting away. You can do anything. And do any